Hello and welcome to Shad's Voice, where I usually get a topic from a random topic generator and I talk about it until I can't anymore. And this video is going to be on something we probably know well. I would hope you know well, whether or not you do it or not, or have to, some way you have to get around. That's just usually how it is. But this topic for this video is transportation. And man, we've probably come a long way when you're thinking about it and where we're sitting now. But transportation obviously is any form of getting around, whether that would have been walking, riding a bike, horses, carriages, uh, cars, buses, airplanes, taxis, whatever. Um, we've come a long way since the invention of the wheel, I would probably say. And it's probably still ever changing. It's kind of almost hard to say that now, considering most of it seems to be revolving around cars more than like electric cars and stuff like that. Which I don't own one, no. Don't own a smart car. Who can afford that, right? But transportation. Um, I'm not sure how much I can say on this, but obviously, I would. If you think back, okay, so back then, besides walking and getting around, the only thing they had was mostly horses. Um, and then when it came to wheels, and we got horse-drawn carriages. I don't know when the first car was invented. That probably sounds like it's something I should probably know. Maybe I'll just look it up quick. Google it. When was the first car invented? Oh, and it kind of. Okay. January 29th, 1886. Carl Benz. So, applied for a patent for its vehicle powered by a gas engine. So basically a car that you had to put gas in for it to move. So, um, yeah, that was the first car. But I would say, man, if I had a horse, I probably still would want to ride a horse all around. I know that's probably impractical, and I mean, who can afford and take care of a horse and live in an apartment complex? There's nowhere to put a horse. I wish. But horses to me were cool transportation. I would so wish I had horses. I rode a few horses before, yeah. My aunt used to have. Well, she still would have horses, but I haven't been to her house or seen her horses in a long while, so. But horse-drawn carriages, now I'm thinking more like Red Dead Redemption 2. Still would have been sort of cool, but I mean, I'd rather take riding a single horse over a carriage, but maybe that's just me. I just love the horses so much. But eventually, creating that wheel has made a pathway to obviously better transportation. Then we got bikes. Bikes are very helpful and faster than walking, easier to get around maybe than having to walk everywhere. And plus, you don't have to pay for gas either. You're just powering it with your own legs, which could be pretty tiring. Let's be real. I used to ride bike, and I don't know. I mean, I still have a bike. Bad thing is, it just will not stay aired up on one of the tires. That's the unfortunate thing. And knowing me, how I procrastinate, I'm just never gonna get that tire aired up. And it's also winter, so I mean, I've seen people ride bikes in the snow and ice and think they're crazy sometimes, when, there's such thing as snow tires for bikes as well as cars. So hey man, if it's your main way of getting around, maybe investing in that's probably the best thing to do. But that's what I mean. It's crazy. Cars, taxis, buses, well, cars in general, paying for gas. Gas is not cheap. And cars, by the way, not great for the environment. Global warming. We caused that pretty much from cars and other things, but not great for the environment. But at the same time, if you didn't own a car, I mean, how did you mostly expect to get around? Cars were a lot easier to get from point A to point B, and even if it's further away. And then, I mean, otherwise, or you're paying somebody else to bring you somewhere, which, I mean, kind of works. You don't want your own car. Kind of having your own car, though, was a stupid status symbol, I would say, eventually, of being an adult. And it's kind of the one thing you had to do is, like, learn how to drive, get your license, all that. And it's just like, I know I never wanted to drive. Shadow did not want to know. I never wanted to get my own car. I knew I had to eventually do, but I don't, even now, I still don't like driving long places. I drive back to work and home, and that's about as far as I usually want to go. I mean, I might eventually just go and like drive and get food somewhere, but like driving out of town or anything, like to see people, I don't do that often. And I don't like driving it alone. So I'm like, if I go with my mom, she would mostly drive. It's like, I, it was never a freedom I cared for. Let's say that. And then, yeah, obviously, I still gotta put gas in my car and gotta worry about oil change and car notes and stuff like that. Yay. That's what I say. Moving on to the bigger things. Let's go the airplanes, maybe hot air balloon. We're not gonna go on that thing about the spy balloon. At this point in time, but airplanes, I don't know, blimps, stuff like that. Now we're taking to the air, which, and jets. They always said that, well, one day humanity wanted to fly, and obviously it happened. That's some, to me, that, I mean, I hate heights. So the thought of flying is like terrifying. But we have this giant metal container thing, like, yeah, giant metal container thing that can just fly. And yes, it has wheels to land on, but compared to how big a plane is, and I've never been by a plane, so I guess I don't know how big actually those tires are, wheels on a freaking airplane. They're small, probably compared to the whole plane itself, I would say. So it's like terrifying. Um, and it's like once you kind of develop that, where do you go from there? Obviously, like I'm saying, we have electric cars now that no longer is gas, but electric powered. You charge it like you charge your phone. Well, maybe not like that, but you know what I mean. And which is, yeah, we have probably a lot. We're making use some more electric powered things that's cleaner than gas. I will give you that. But it's still a resource that we don't much kind of almost depend on. And it's expensive. Like I said, everything new is expensive. So most of us probably will not own an electric car for a long time to even be able to replace gas and oil. Um, where do you go from electric? I don't know, wind powered. Still, it's going to be electric, even more or less. I mean, solar powered. That's probably another thing. But that also probably depends on where you live. Where I live, yes, we have a lot of windmills. And that's a resource we have. I know that's not a whole lot thing for a lot of other places. But in the winter, obviously, where I am, it snows and there's ice, so going off solar power, especially during the winter, is almost impossible. Um, I mean, that's also the probably best one from gas and electric is solar power. But that would be another expensive thing. Everything costs money. If it's, even if it's transportation, the only way you're not costing money, probably to yourself, is just walking somewhere. That is the easiest, because otherwise, if you're gonna have a bike, you still have to maintain it. Yeah, at least the uh, air tanks when you go and like fill up like air pumps from like gas stations or something. You can fill up your bike tires there in your car there. Sometimes, usually for free. I've never ran into one that charged you, thankfully. But still, maintaining everything else is just like expensive. Otherwise, I wish I could say, let's go back to the horses, but no, I know during the winter here, I really don't want to even ride a horse to work in the winter because of the snow and ice and how cold it's gonna be. But yeah, transportation has gone something over the years, and I don't even know. I mean, everybody talks about flying cars. Are we closer to that? I don't know. I think I've seen like videos of like cars hovering over water. I don't know if it's actually like an actual boat car, if it's actually like using the water or hovering over water. I could see both happening. Um, I don't know if we're any closer to flying cars than we were back then when they said they wanted flying cars. It seems, I don't know, like that was always the futuristic thing that people have said, flying cars, I think. And I don't know. I mean, if you have airplanes, what's the point? But, flying cars, I guess. Now you're just going to, I mean, you still have the police who regulate the roads, the streets, for making sure you're following the laws while driving would make sense. But think of how crazy it would be more when cars are flying. I mean, they're still gonna have to regulate that somehow. Obviously, not everybody's going to be still having a flying car, even if it releases. So it's not like every single person, but now you're gonna have freaking cops who probably on a bad day, who's not even on the street watching you, but they are like had this bird's eye vantage point in the sky that can just probably swoop down and pull you over before you even realize it. Man, can you imagine that? Just like hawk diving and then all of a sudden you're pulled over. It's probably the craziest thing I've thought about all day. And I'm just thinking it as I'm talking about it. This is why I love this series. I hope everybody else enjoys it too. But it's just like the random things that just come to your head and you have no idea. But yeah, I have no idea what else to say more on transportation. Like I said, it's changing as it goes. It's not changing that quickly, but it's like maybe something every 2 years, I would say, is like happening. I can't even tell you when the electric cars really started, but yeah, we all know about it. um, I don't keep up with it because I'm just kind of, I guess, happy that I have a car, but at the same time, it's like I never wanted to drive. It never was something that really bothered me. I just kind of had to do it because that's world expectation, kind of, you know. If you don't drive, you're just kind of screwed. But anyway, thank you for listening if you did. I will see you in the next one.